Hey everyone, I hope you've had a great week. And of course, this week in Australia, we have Mother's Day. And like everything else during this COVID time, it's going to be a really interesting Mother's Day, isn't it? A different Mother's Day to one maybe we've ever had before. If your kids are at home, I guess you can expect a really creative breakfast in bed and some truly special craft with the kids having as much time as they do. If your kids aren't at home, or if you're maybe a grandparent, this Mother's Day could be really tough, couldn't it? And my thoughts and prayers are going to be with you this weekend. The church has a really mixed history when it comes to women, doesn't it? Like a lot of things, women have been mistreated in Christian churches and treated badly. And I think there might be a temptation to think that women in general aren't respected or aren't regarded highly in Christianity. But nothing could be further from the truth. One of the great ideas in Christianity is that everyone is created absolutely equal. We're all created in the image of God, and as Christians, we're all the brothers and sisters of Jesus. We're all co-heirs with Jesus. We're all going to inherit heaven with Jesus, which means that men and women in both creation and salvation are exactly, entirely equal. No one is better than anyone else. In fact, when you read the Bible, there's this wonderful passage that explores Jesus' family tree, and you actually meet 5 of his mothers. And in terms of Mother's Day, Matthew 1 is this wonderful passage for meeting some of Jesus' mothers. And at first glance, it's kind of unusual that there would be women in Jesus' family tree. When they did genealogies in the first century, by and large, they only included men. And maybe if you included a woman, they might be the queen or something like that. But the 5 women who are included in Jesus' family tree are actually quite unusual. There's Tamar, who dresses up as a prostitute. There's Rahab, who actually is a prostitute. And then there's Ruth, who is a Moabitess, a foreigner. And then there's Bathsheba, who commits adultery with Solomon. And then there's Mary, who appears at first glance to be a single unwed mother. And so these are 5 women who you wouldn't necessarily expect to find in Jesus' family tree. You would expect not to find them. They're the people who you might have expected them to bury. But every single one of those 5 women has a quality that marks her out as being a wonderful, incredible person who trusts God. So Tamar turns out to be more righteous than the great patriarch Judah. Rahab trusts God and gives shelter to Israel's spies, and is one of the ways that Israel can actually defeat Jericho and come into the great promised land. Ruth, even though she is a foreigner, she trusts God and serves and is faithful to Naomi. She's this wonderful example of trusting God. Bathsheba becomes the mother of Solomon, and Mary, well, of course, we know Mary's story. She risks being a social outcast. She risks being seen as somebody who has been an unwed mother in order to become the mother of the Messiah. And these 5 women are included in Jesus' family tree because they're wonderful examples of people who trust God. And we celebrate them as Jesus' mothers. And this weekend, we want to celebrate the mums in our church. We have some magnificent, wonderful women in our church who love God, who serve Jesus, who reach their friends, who serve the church, and who really are great examples of people who just live a very genuine Christian life. And we're really missing the fact that, well, we can't celebrate all together this weekend with you. We can't celebrate you as the mums in our church, but certainly we thank God for you and we praise God for you. And so have a fantastic Mother's Day.